So they put him to Georgia Regional. Then they took him out of town for a while. And then he was brought back here. But then when he was brought back here, he was released to go to Tideland, which was it's a Hamilton House group home. But Tideland was in charge of it. And I had no problem with Tideland. I find it mighty strange. It's very amazing that my son stayed in that group home with Tideland. He stayed in that group home when it was Gateway. Had no problem. And like I said before, the great I am from Sabbath, Michael Elliott, he got a hold of it. And if he had some people that was working for him like they were supposed to and doing the right thing, you wouldn't be watching me because he would do the right thing. You cannot treat people all kind of way. My son has a mental problem. The rest of those people in that consumers had problems. So just because you're mentally ill, you're supposed to eat expired food? Are you supposed to have people hold your child down and inject them with all kind of medication? Are you supposed to let your child go without a bath or shower for over 6 weeks? And when you take your child home to clean them up, the site manager, Miss Sabrina Wallace, will take him in her office and question him like he is in some prisoner. She should have been a prison guard and stood over there with those sick people. She shouldn't have been over there. So do you expect for me to just keep my mouth closed and not do anything about it? I'm not angry. But I tell you, the person that touched on my personality, my 8th grade teacher at the Catholic school, Sister Mary Thaddeus, said to me, Clara, you'll go far in life because your personality is outstanding. When somebody messes with your family, your personality alters, not unless you're a heartless human being and you don't care what happened to your family. I love my son just like everybody in this world love theirs. I don't care what color they are, they love their children. And I'm not going to let my innocent child be abused for anyone. And yes, if they altered my personality, if you feel like they altered my personality, well, you got that right. They altered my personality when they messed with my son. In fact, I was told I took my son to the doctor on Friday. And the people where he's at now, they called me and said, Miss Curry, Benny has to be to the doctor at certain time. I said, what time he's supposed to be there? They said, Miss Curry, he's going to have to be there at 10 o'clock. I said, well, fine, I will be there. So I met them to the doctor with my son. Why couldn't this have happened with them? No, they didn't want me over there because they didn't have no doctor for those people. All they were doing was overdosing them. There were times when my son couldn't even get out of the bed. So what are you all supposed to want me to do? I don't care what you do. And Alicia Keys has one of the best songs out. I don't care what the people say. I know everything's going to be all right. They're not going to abuse my son and get by with it. I will not allow it. Jesus would not allow it. That's why all this time while they were hiding, I was praying. Every day I was praying. Every day I got a chance, I was on my knees. And every day when I was swing by St. James Catholic Church, I was in there praying them rosaries. And every day I got a chance, I was in there doing my adoration. And I will continue to pray to God because that's where my help come from. My help come from Jesus Christ. It doesn't come from man. Now I want whoever feel like the Michael Elliott and them and the Sabbath can abuse their children, it's fine, then that's your business. What they do to mine is a cat of another color. You're not going to abuse my child and get by with it. I love my son. I don't care what shape he's in. I love my son. And that's what's wrong with the world today. You would rather feed a cat fresh food and give a mentally ill person expired food. And that's a shame. And for you, I will say my prayer for you because God knows, sir, or whoever you are, you need it. Now, like I said, I'm not an evil person. I am not a vindictive person. But how much can a person stand? People, let me tell y'all something. I used to say, when I see horrible things on television, where somebody has gone in there and just destroyed a lot of lives, I mean innocent people, and this was years back, and I would say to myself, I said, my God, I said, how could they do that and be so evil? How could they do that? And I said, Lord, I would never do that. I am happy, people, that I have Christ in my life. I am so grateful that he allowed a sinner like me to be in his life and to call on him. Because if I didn't have Jesus, I would be out of my mind. But you know what the problem is? The problem is this in this city and all over this world. When people have a problem and they go to someone that can help them, they turn their back on them. A lot of people is not like me. They don't know how to pray. They don't know how to call on Jesus. So they take it out, and they are the one that's take out the revenge. And then a lot of people's lives are destroyed because somebody in the right place did not do their job. They refuse to listen. And then those people get angry, and they go out into the world. But I'm not an angry person. Do I get upset? Yes. I get very upset. But am I angry? No, I'm not angry. I am upset. I am upset because the government is giving Sabbath all this money. The state of Georgia giving him money, the county giving him money, the city giving him money, and he hired these employees that will feed people expired food. And you think it's nice? That's why I'm upset. He's getting taxpayers' money and he's not doing his job. And he has not did a good job. He might have started off, but he has not have been doing a good job. And if you know what I know, and then you be careful how you ask questions, because I know a whole lot that a lot of you all don't know. I've had people to call me on my phone. I'm telling you, I've been outdated with calls day and night. And they say, Miss Curry, you know one thing? So that man has been doing that for a long time. And say, I'm sorry, one man just no longer than this, later than this morning, before I left for church. He said, Miss Curry, I'm glad you're doing that, because he's been doing that for a long time. He said, and I'm glad your son was had to suffer. He said, because by him suffering, it motivates somebody to get up and do something about it. And I did. But it was a third. I prayed. I didn't go around and say, oh, I'm going to go and do this to Michael. No, I didn't pray, because like I said, I don't lie. I said the other day that I didn't like Michael Elliott. There was a time that I hated him. But I, being the Christian that I am, I had to pray and ask Jesus to take away the hate, because I don't want to hate anybody. I've been everywhere, people. The NAACP, I went to DHR in Atlanta. They closed my son's case and back almost 3 years ago, and lied and told me, had me running back and forth, still spending money, trying to find out. And had it not been for someone that God transplanted to Savannah, I would have never known that case was closed. The file was closed on him. I would have still been out there trying to fight. And I will fight. I will fight for my son. And yes, like I said, I said Martin Luther King got out there and he showed us. I said he asked and he fought for civil rights, and I know he didn't do it alone, because the men's had to sign that right into civil rights into order, law into order. But I thank Dr. Martin Luther King and those men, and I thank God for justice. And now I know why that justice is blind. I know why that justice is blind, because of all the tears they share, and they have that blindness foe will have to catch it, because this is a cruel world. And somebody got to have a mouth and let the world know what's going on. Somebody got to care for the mentally ill, just like they care for the rich and famous. Somebody got to care for the least of God's children, just like they care for the children that has it all. And let me tell you something else. I volunteered at the Frank Callum's Boys and Girls Club after my granddaughter got there. And I was preparing meals for 85 children a day, so I thought, until the man that helped me with the food saw him going out the side door. And every bit of the food that I cooked every day and served them was fresh food. Every bit of the food that I prepared for those children was fresh food. And they were children from that project and everywhere else. But I didn't give them expired food, so why should my son eat expired food? And another thing, I started the soup kitchen at St. Benedict Catholic Church. Father Fred Nigel, along with Sister Buttermore and Sister Bridget. And I served soup, and I have the proof. And I helped started the inner city night shelter. And I cooked meals in big soup pots and took to them. I never once gave those homeless people expired food. You just don't do that, Jesus. Jesus said, feed my sheep. He didn't say, give my sheep expired food. Thank you.